Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm so glad you're here. On this channel, I talk about news, controversies, and drama on the bookish side of the internet, and I certainly hope you'll stick around. So today we've got another shady publisher doing shady things. So a lot of this story takes place over a year in the past, but fortunately it's still going on, so here to talk about it. And the publisher in question is Entwined Publishing, formerly known as Totally Entwined Group, and I will let the CEO introduce the company to you.
Every great adventure begins with a spark, and for me, it all started with a deep passion for romance fiction. I'm Claire Szomaszkiewicz, the founder of Entwined Publishing. Back in 2006, my dream was to create a space where romance authors could thrive and readers could find the most captivating of love stories. So, with a small team and that very big dream, we embarked on a journey to revolutionize the romance publishing industry, and we became the first digital-first publisher in the UK and Europe. We've always believed that happy authors are productive authors. So that's why we built Entwined Publishing around the idea of putting our authors first, offering them the support and the flexibility that they need to create their best work. Of course, we've grown and developed a lot since those early years. Today, we're very proud to work with over 400 talented authors, and we release around 150 books every year across a variety of romance genres. So whether it's young adult, contemporary, dark romance, romantasy, paranormal, we have an imprint for every love story. Our commitment to readers and authors alike drives absolutely everything that we do. And we're here to make sure that every story that we publish is completely unforgettable. So if you're a romance author with a story to tell, we'd love to hear from you. Check out our latest submission calls and send in your submissions. Join us and let's create something beautiful together.
So that sounds lovely. So I've got a few different topics that I want to cover here, but I'm going to start with the thing that brought me to hear about this company in the first place. I'm going to be referring to the company as TEG from here on out because that is what authors call it. So a TEG author that will remain anonymous let me know about an email sent by the CEO back in May of 2024 that people were very alarmed by. We've got the sun again today, sorry. Filming at this time of day is clearly not the best idea, but can't do anything about it now. Dear author, exciting changes ahead, enhancing your publishing journey with TEG. As we navigate the ever-evolving landscape of the publishing industry, we are committed to continuously refining our strategies to ensure your success as authors. Today, I am happy to share with you some exciting changes that will elevate our partnership and amplify your reach in the publishing world. At TEG, we have always been dedicated to showcasing exceptional talent and bringing captivating stories to readers worldwide. However, we recognize that in today's saturated market, releasing books and having little input from our authors is no longer enough to stand out. That's why we are embarking on a transformative journey that focuses on quality, with an emphasis on robust marketing initiatives. Moving forward, we will be streamlining our release schedule, placing a greater emphasis on each title's marketing campaign. This means that while we may be more strategic with the books we publish, we will be significantly increasing our efforts to promote and elevate each release. We understand the importance of visibility in today's competitive landscape, and we are committed to ensuring that your work receives the attention it deserves. As part of our renewed commitment to our authors, we are thrilled to introduce Book Booster, a cutting-edge platform designed to supercharge your and our marketing efforts. Through Book Booster, you will have access to a suite of powerful tools and resources, including social media marketing accounts, email marketing services, lead generation campaigns, sales analytics, and much, much more. This platform will not only expand your reach, but also empower you to connect with your audience in meaningful ways. As we embark on this new chapter together, we want to assure you that your voices and contributions are valued now more than ever. Titles that have already undergone editing and cover design will be published as planned, and we will work closely with you to assess the potential of upcoming releases based on genre, past performance, and future publishing requirements before deciding whether to release any current titles in the front list from contract. Additionally, we appreciate the effective marketing requires a collaborative effort. Therefore, we will be asking authors to commit further to marketing their books alongside us. To further incentivize you to work more closely with us to market your books effectively, we are enhancing our royalty structure to offer up to 50% ebook royalties. We believe that your talent and dedication deserve to be rewarded, and we are committed to supporting your success every step of the way. As a part of this new strategy, all of our authors will get access to an all-access Book Booster account for a small monthly fee, or if that isn't something that will work for you, we will require that you grant us access to your social media accounts via the Book Booster platform for coordinated promotions. Keep an eye out for the next 2 mailers from us, where we'll provide a special link to register an account. Thank you for your continued trust and partnership. Best regards. So, yeah, people were not thrilled to be told that they either need to hand over their social media login information or pay a fee to Book Booster to have their books marketed. A publisher should be marketing your books for you in a traditional publishing contract, which is what TEG authors had. Of course, authors are going to do some marketing on their own, but this is why TEG gets to take a share of the royalties from authors. Book Booster also did me a solid and made a little intro video, so again, I'll let them do the introduction.
Discover the future of marketing with Book Booster, where your story reaches the audience it deserves. Say goodbye to juggling multiple platforms. Book Booster is your ultimate solution, making marketing smoother and more effective. Our digital platform has everything you need to get your books in the spotlight, from social media and viral campaigns to email marketing, plus artificial intelligence tools to make it simple and quick. Carve out a unique author brand whilst growing book sales by finding your super fans with our tools. Because it's not just about being known, it's about being remembered. We use the latest marketing trends to ensure that your book is the one everyone's talking about. From fan growth to increased sales, see the tangible results from your marketing efforts. Because with Book Booster, seeing is believing. With pocket-friendly prices, you can spend less time on marketing and more on what you love, writing. Become a part of the Book Booster family, a community of authors and experts ready to share, support, and celebrate your success. Join Book Booster today and turn your literary dreams into reality, because every book deserves to be read. Book Booster, where books meet buzz.
So that's a lovely little video, I guess, but it tells us nothing about how the company actually intends to do the things it promises. There's no example of the author interface, what their actual plans are for getting books into the right hands, and there's, nothing like that. So why would anyone trust them? And why would TEG be pushing for their authors to pay for this extra service? And of course, they'll be using AI, which is something we know the book community as a whole just loves. Since I'm ridiculous, I used my author alter ego to sign up for a free trial since it didn't require a credit card. So I thought we all deserved to see what the author dashboard consisted of. So we can see different options about reposts, watermarking things, what category it's in, calendar of posts, different analytic reports, tracks clicks, revenue, sales, leads, TikTok views, different campaigns you have running, how you share stuff, and social CRM. So, we all know I'm not an author, but I do, track my metrics for YouTube stuff. But guess what? YouTube does it for me. I don't have to pay anything extra for it. So to me, this does look like it could be potentially valuable, but something like this should be standard if it's required, or if the only other option is to give TEG your logins. Again, I'm not an author, so that's just my take. I'm not going to get into all of the details of what each plan entails, but I do want to show the pricing options. So I will link the site below if you care to see the details of each plan. So you can do this free trial, 14 days, and again, didn't require a credit card for no dollars. A basic plan, $15.99, perfect to start. The standard plan is $31.99, ideal for DIY. And agency, $125, will do it all for you. That is quite a big jump. So there's no mention of whether this is daily, monthly, weekly, annually. I didn't do that in the right order, but whatever. Clearly, that's important information to mention if someone's signing up for your service. And of course, got to go over the AI tools. Embrace the power of AI for your author marketing. Social media magic. Blog brilliance. Email excellence. We love some good alliteration. Ad copy wizard. Customized courses. Video script virtuoso. Marketing strategy, campaign creator, lead magnet generator. Legal doc drafting, SEO optimizer. I know it just keeps getting more and more difficult to tell when something is AI, but personally, I think book people are going to be able to tell human writing from AI writing, even in blog posts and video scripts. And please, for the love of God, I am begging you, do not use AI to draft legal documents. So the last thing I want to show from the website is this quote from the CEO, who apparently has no name. At Book Booster, we're passionate about transforming the way authors connect with readers. We understand the challenges of marketing in the digital age, and we're here to offer innovative solutions that boost your book's visibility and sales. Whether you're a self-published author or a hybrid author looking to generate more interest for your brand, our array of services are designed to cater to your every marketing need. Again, tells us nothing, and also I just think it's hilarious that it just says CEO. Could literally be anyone. So as you might imagine, this email was met with a lot of pushback and anger from authors who, have contracts that do not include this. And so that led Claire to send out another email. Dear author, further to your recent feedback, we understand that our recent announcement has caused some concern, and we appreciate the feedback and comments you've shared. I want to address these points and reassure you of our best intentions. When I sent out our email at the start of the week, I intended to follow it up with 2 more emails over the next few days. However, due to feedback in the group, we felt it was important to address your concerns before making any further announcements or sharing further information. The changes we announced are not made lightly. As a small team, we need to make essential adjustments to enhance our marketing efforts and increase book sales in a tough market. Every publishing decision carries risks, and while some ventures succeed, others do not. Given the steady decline in sales with our current model, we chose to be bold and make some necessary changes. I hope you understand why these changes are essential and will work with us to make positive progress. In my previous message, I announced changes to the schedule but did not provide specifics. To put minds at ease, I'd like to clarify that these changes, for the most part, won't come into effect until 2025, when we will shift our focus to releasing novel-length and longer titles. However, there may still be changes to release dates for already contracted titles. We will review the release schedule and make decisions regarding any title that does not fit with our 2025 plans, and any release date changes by next week, so as to not keep you waiting any longer than absolutely necessary. If you have any questions or concerns about an upcoming release, please reach out to me or Rebecca, who is their editor and it's listed on the website, so I feel like whatever. We are always here to help. Book Booster participation. Firstly, I want to emphasize that Book Booster is an optional tool designed to support your marketing efforts affordably and effectively. I apologize for any confusion caused by my previous message, which may have come across as a sales pitch to some of you. Yes, it did. That does tend to be my default because I'm from a sales background. I'm excited about the platform and what it can do to help you, and I got enthusiastic in thinking that all our authors would want and benefit from using it. It's not mandatory, and we respect that many of you have your own marketing strategies and tools already established. Our aim is to provide an additional resource for those who may benefit from it, and is not intended to replace TEG's own marketing efforts. Existing marketing efforts. I would also like to apologize for any missed promotions or delays in marketing support. We are addressing these issues promptly. Our intention with Book Booster is not to replace our existing marketing efforts, but to enhance them. We will continue to promote your books as part of our standard service. We're not asking you to replace our marketing efforts with yours. We will always provide marketing for our published authors. Our efforts will not change based on who opts into Book Booster, and if you already utilize another platform similar to Book Booster and want us to repost campaigns, we can do that too. Cost and management. I understand that additional costs can be a burden, especially for new authors. Book Booster is designed to be a cost-effective tool to support your marketing efforts, and in some cases, could reduce your outgoings. However, as previously stated, using it is not mandatory. For those who are interested in giving it a try, we're offering a 14-day free trial period, so you can experience the benefits firsthand without any obligation. I'm happy to do a walkthrough of the software to help you find your feet. Just send me a quick email and we'll set it up. Security and control. Security is a top priority. BookBooster uses secure authentication methods to protect your social media accounts. You retain full control over your accounts and approve all content before it is posted. The system ensures your information remains safe and private, providing you with peace of mind. Let me be clear, we never see your login information and we don't store anything. When you use the link that we send to you, the system walks you through a secure setup directly with the social platform you're connecting to. They send a code to our system to connect the account. There's nothing that can be hacked. This is the same method used by other social media services to send content to social media platforms. AI tools. We understand that some authors have reservations about using generative AI. We want to assure you that while BookBooster includes AI technology in one section of the platform, this feature is entirely optional and can be easily ignored if you prefer not to use it. In fact, we can even turn it off completely in your account. The AI tools are designed to assist with content creation, but you retain full control over your marketing efforts. You can choose to utilize these tools or completely bypass them based on your comfort level and preferences. Additionally, we do not use AI-generated images to promote your books. As you've likely seen from our recent Facebook posts, we use Canva templates, cover art, gifs from cover art, and we utilize blurbs, excerpts, tropes, and pull quotes that you provide. Transparency and trust. I created some confusion regarding the relationship between TEG and BookBooster. BookBooster is a TEG service designed to streamline and enhance our marketing efforts for your benefit. That, however, wasn't clear in my first message, and I apologize if it came across as opaque. We will ensure future communications are clear and transparent about such relationships. We remain committed to promoting all of our authors' books through our social media channels and marketing efforts. Whether or not you use BookBooster, we will continue to support your promotional needs. Distribution issues. We are acutely aware of the ongoing distribution issues and share your frustration. These problems are less than ideal, and we are actively working to resolve them. We have been in discussions to transition to a new distribution partner, which should take effect from the end of June. Moving forward with our new partner, we will enjoy a more robust, transparent service with more direct marketing input and support. We're looking forward to this positive change and the improvements it will bring. Moving forward, BookBooster came about because I wanted to find a way for authors to promote their books more effectively. Marketing is essential in today's book market, and it's ever evolving. While a good number of our authors are comfortable already with promoting their books and brand, I have services already set up and working effectively for them. Just as many are not comfortable and find it very confusing and challenging. Offering a service to help those authors doesn't change the fact that we are a committed publisher and our focus moving forward is to improve our book sales. We're confident that BookBooster will help us achieve that. We appreciate your patience and feedback as we navigate these changes. Our goal is to enhance your marketing opportunities and ensure your books receive the attention they deserve. We are committed to addressing all concerns and making necessary adjustments based on your feedback. As always, please reach out if you have any questions. Well, color me shocked! BookBooster is a product of TEG, and TEG is highly encouraging you to use it and pay them money to do what they should have already been doing. To me, this is much worse than if they had just been pushing some other company's product and then getting some kind of kickback. No, they really said, pay us money to market your book, never mind the fact that we operate with a traditional publishing model, and that's part of the deal. While I learned back while researching for my vanity publishing video, non-indie authors can generally have some say in what their covers look like, but it is not something they're required to contribute to. Well, if you get a cover mock-up and it looks like any of these, you might want to try your hand at a Canva cover or hiring an artist. Disclaimer, I did confirm that all of these covers were in fact designed by someone at TEG. So here we have a rom-com with a man who looks like he's plotting your death. I don't know what about this picture is supposed to scream sexy and mysterious, but this guy definitely lives in his mom's basement. These two, this looks like a photo shoot with your brother at Sears, and even the promise of McDonald's afterwards isn't enough to get you to smile. And I feel like I can almost guarantee this is AI generated, because she's missing a finger and she has a flame coming out of her tummy, but I'm not saying that it is with certainty. I feel like if it wasn't, then some artist needs to take a look at this again. And this one is maybe my favorite of the bunch. What is this? Poor Ellen. Now, this isn't the only place where TEG wanted to throw some AI into the mix. Listen to this email that they sent to authors on October 28th, 2023. I'm only going to read the parts that are relevant. Autumn is in full swing. We've got a huge amount of news and updates for you, so this is going to be a long newsletter. We've been brewing up something special, and it's finally time to lift the curtain on our latest endeavors dedicated to amplifying your work in ways you've never seen before. As always, amidst all the new ventures and projects, our TEG Author Social Group remains a hub of vital information. Please ensure you check in regularly. This platform is our primary channel for sharing essential updates, opportunities, promotions, and much more that can directly impact your titles. We're thrilled to share some groundbreaking news with our talented authors. Totally Entwined Group has entered into a dynamic partnership with Apple for an AI audio project. Selected titles from our audio program are undergoing a unique audio transformation using cutting-edge AI technology. A year of exploration and development. Over the past year, our teams have been deeply engrossed in blending the art of your storytelling with the science of Apple's AI technology. Our dedication to this project stems from our unwavering commitment to expanding the horizons of how our authors' works are experienced by readers and listeners alike. However, before you get the notion that robots are taking over, let's set the record straight. It's not a replacement, it's an enhancement. The core intent of this collaboration isn't to replace the irreplaceable, the warmth and depth of a human voice narrating your meticulously crafted stories. We view this AI integration as an additive layer, a digital companion to your ebook. It's more of an innovative trial rather than a full-blown audiobook release. Why are we doing this? With this partnership, we're keen to gauge the performance and receptions of Apple's AI audio capabilities. Moreover, this venture will provide valuable insights into which titles could potentially accelerate into our broader audio program. Full flexibility for our authors. Should the digital AI rendition resonate with audiences, great. If not, or even if it does, there are no constraints binding the titles to the Apple AI audio format. We remain open to revisiting any title for a traditional audio recording with human narrators, ensuring the story's essence is always at the forefront. The first set of titles, now on the Apple Store. We're thrilled to announce that the first batch of AI-enhanced titles is now live on the Apple Store. We've provided a list of these pioneering titles below. This initial rollout will offer invaluable insights into audience reception and guide our future audio endeavors. We're excited about this journey into the future of storytelling and are immensely grateful for your trust and collaboration. As always, our commitment remains to elevate your work in every format possible, ensuring it reaches the broadest audience with the impact it deserves. We welcome any questions, feedback, or thoughts you may have about this new venture. Here's to pushing boundaries and exploring new frontiers in publishing. So they ended up walking this back, as is their MO, but it turned into an opt-out thing, which is, no. This should not be going on at all, but if it is, it should absolutely be something you have to opt into. Like, I still hate it, but like, geez, come on. And it's also to be noted that the spreadsheet where you can add your name to opt out is visible to anyone and can also be edited by anyone. I typed in a box just to see if I could, and I could. I deleted it, of course, but it was simple. So here's a little more from that email, an important update on our book promotion strategies. We've been closely observing and analyzing the effectiveness of our book marketing strategies. Based on our insights and in an effort to bring more engagement and reach to your books, we're making some pivotal changes. Our new approach. Goodbye to new release blitzes and rafflecopter. We've identified that the traditional release blitzes and rafflecopter giveaways were not yielding the desired outcomes. Thus, we're phasing them out. Hello to TikTok and Instagram. Embracing the dynamism, I don't know that word, of these platforms, we'll be focusing on TikTok and Instagram posts and videos. Visual storytelling is the future, and we're tapping right into it. Author Spotlights. We believe in celebrating our authors. Our new Author Spotlight feature will give readers an in-depth look into your journey, inspiration, and behind-the-scenes tidbits. Engagement with bloggers and bookstagrammers. If you have connections with bloggers, bookstagrammers, or any influential Facebook pages, please inform us. Their involvement can add a fresh dimension to our promotions. Our renewed social media campaign. Starting 6 weeks before your release, expect to see heightened activity around your book. Each week leading to your book's release, we'll post about pre-orders across your platforms. Once your book is out, brace for a surge of promotional posts over the next fortnight. The 90-day book launch plan, reflecting these changes, were it doesn't, that's kind of another thing. Keep in mind, this was like 6 months before the book booster email, so clearly it didn't go great. But the first thing I want to comment on is her asking for book influencer contacts that authors might have. Like, this is just wild to me. I have had plenty of traditionally published authors reach out to me themselves, yes, but I'm pretty sure that's not required. Far more often, either an imprint on Instagram or whatever will reach out to me, or books are made available as offerings in their monthly influencer program emails. Why should an author be sharing their contacts with the publisher? The publisher can reach out themselves. Maybe I'm off base with this, but I just think it's weird and kind of unprofessional. And again, I recognize that this email was sent over 2 years ago, but you'd think they would have gotten better at social media, not worse, given that they claim to be heightening activity pre-publication. So I feel like it's fair to say what I'm about to show you is most likely an improvement to what it used to be like. So this is how they are advertising their books on Instagram now. Yeah. Oh, there's another one. Oh, and it comes. Oop, there she is. You may notice that there's like one comment on all of these, and that is hashtags that have been posted by TEG. So, ooh, we got a different one here. Something new, something new. Oh, nope, we're back to this. So it really seems like Claire or whoever was in charge found this like single transition effect and then just ran with it. And I mean, if this is what she was going for in uniformity, then she nailed it, but when they aren't posting the same animation with different covers, they are making graphic design is my passion style posts. This says, what are your 2026 writing goals? Whether it's finishing a series or starting something brand new, tell us what's on your author vision board for the year ahead. A couple of things I want to point out, and I'm not trying to be nitpicky, but this is a professional company trying to be professional, get new readers in, and so this is just not what they should be doing. The top here, you can see it says New Year, but it's been cut off. That was not me scrolling. That was the post as it was made. Also at the bottom, you can see where there was a logo that's no more. I'm guessing they posted this on a story and then just like made it into a grid post, but that's not how, like, fine, do it that way if you want, but like this looks bad. You need to readjust the size. Same thing here, 2025, reflecting on 2025. What did you write this year that made you proud? Celebrate your wins, big or small, with your fellow storytellers. You did amazing. 2025 at the top, cut off. Same, the logo in the corner, cut off. Again, the one comment on each is them posting hashtags. So, yeah, these are just bad. And the person behind these posts is the same person who wants you to hand over at least $15 per month to run your social media. So because the people over at Entwined clearly think it's better to run multiple businesses badly than run a halfway decent single business, let me tell you about yet another one that they have as part of the Totally Entwined group. And just to be absolutely clear, here are the terms and conditions on the Entwined website where they do claim ownership of a website called Fictionwide. Just so you know, I'm not like pulling this out of my ass. So Fictionwide is their self-publishing website, which I have no frame of reference as to whether this is something useful, but I think we can guess that it isn't well managed. And maybe someone can explain to me how this isn't the same thing as like a vanity press. Outside of retaining your rights, which I guess is a big deal, it seems like the same thing. But anyways, again, I used my secret author alter ego to create an account so I could see what the prices were. They have 3 different plans available. So they have distribution only, you get 30-day trial for wide distribution, 90% ebook, audio, print and audio payments, wide distribution, monthly payments, and reporting systems. 2 is full services and distribution, pay 30% upfront and remainder from book sales, and it's, telling you all these editing services, paperback book creation, audiobook creation option, translations option, all of this. And then there is the third type of plan where you get individual services. So you can kind of pick and choose what you want them to be responsible for. So outside of the a la carte plan, I can't find any prices for this stuff. And I'm sure it's dependent on things individual to the book, but I will show you the prices for things that are purchased singularly. So for editing services, they offer substantive edit, line/copy edit, copy/proofread. So for the full edit, it's, I don't even know how you say this, 0.013 cents, well, pence, I guess, per word. Line copy edit is 0.006 and copy proofread is 0.003. I'm clearly not an expert on any of this, but just using the suggested rates listed on the Editorial Freelancers Association's website, this seems slightly lower than what's standard. And does this speak to the quality of service? I don't know. Cover art services. You can get a bespoke ebook cover art for £150, which again feels on the lower side. Again, if it's anything like the TEG authors. So then we get marketing and promotion services. Let us help you market your books. We'll take your cover art and author brand and design packs for marketing events and media to assist you in creating visibility and promoting you and your books. Marketing images. Pick 4 images from email banner, Facebook banner, Twitter banners, postcard, bookmark. Social media images. Pick 3 images from box set/series image, box set/series social promo image, coming soon, pre-order, and new release/on sale. Viral marketing campaign. A full viral marketing promotion running over the course of the campaign to grow subscribers that you can use with your own autoresponder in the future or work with us to engage with your readers. 1 mailer of your choice to subscribers at the end of the campaign. This can be a welcome message, an offer, a discount/free book, or anything else you'd like to offer your new subscribers. So this is where they completely lose me. This is exactly like Christina K, where they're advertising social media marketing and viral campaigns when they can't even market their own business. We saw Claire just asking authors for contact information for influencers. How exactly is she going to get people to be involved with her viral marketing campaign if she doesn't even have those leads? There's also book creation services, and this is generally like ebook formatting, conversion, and then print formatting, etc. With very little effort, I found a few free tools for formatting and converting your files for ebooks and print books. So this doesn't really seem like something that money needs to be spent on, but as I've never done it, I don't know for sure. However, given that websites are offering these tools, it doesn't seem like it would be worth paying £60 for someone to do for you. One more thing that I want to mention that's just weird is Fictionwide's Instagram presence. It appears that they may have previously been called OpenPub, or at least this is the same account that was used for it because they never deleted the old posts. And it also looks like at some point they were using this account to advertise vacation rentals in North Carolina, which is just something bizarre to note. So I could seriously sit here all day and name off other careless and shitty things that have gone on with this company. I won't go into too much detail, but here is a little list, and I'm going to go ahead and say all this is alleged, but comes from reliable sources. Marketing books with incorrect blurbs, including a YA book that was marketed with a BDSM blurb. Changing blurbs without informing the author. Advertising sales but not changing the list prices on books. ARCs are not standard. Not even putting audiobooks up for sale to purchase that exist. Putting books on sale and not telling the authors. Blame everything that goes wrong on distributors. Got rid of all but one editor who clearly can't handle that much work on their own, leading to ARC readers, when the authors get them themselves, finding typos, and at least one DNFing because of all of the mistakes. And then there's just some standard shitty publisher things like late and incorrect royalty payments and not replying to emails. So take all of this awful stuff I've told you and now set it aside. A co-writing duo, Lisa Henry and Sarah Honey, have been fighting back against TEG for just so many breaches of contract. Between them, they have kept impeccable notes, and I've given me permission to share their statement against TEG. So this is all coming from their perspective, and it's lengthy, so settle in. On May 8th, we advised Totally Entwined that we wished to be released early from our contract with them, which covered the Bad Boyfriends Inc. series, Awfully Ambrose, Horribly Harry, and Terribly Tristan. This was due to several issues we have posted about before. We got a BookBub deal that cost $211 US. We paid for this ourselves, which was cool. What wasn't cool was that despite notifying TEG well in advance to have the price dropped on time, and following up several times only to be assured it would happen, the prices didn't drop for Apple and Kobo. This was blamed on the distributor. For the release of Awfully Ambrose, there was no social media messaging from TEG. The only promotion the book got was a release day blitz that we paid for ourselves and had nothing to do with TEG. On more than one occasion, we were advised that one of our books would go on sale and to alert our readers. We did that, only to have the sale price not come through on the dates we were advised. And numerous times we had to alert TEG after the sale was finished to get the prices raised again. We are firmly opposed to the use of generative AI. Having to opt out of AI audio instead of having to opt in told us that the values of TEG did not align with ours. The use of AI covers, although this was not an issue with our books, was also very concerning. Generative AI is unethical and environmentally destructive, and we did not want our brand associated with a company that uses it. We got an email about a social media promotion company called BookBooster. We were told that we were required to sign up. At no point in this initial email were we advised BookBooster was a TEG company. The requirement to sign up was later walked back in a follow-up email. Even though it was very quickly walked back, the initial requirement that we would either have to pay for BookBooster or hand over our social media access to them was galling. Firstly, why were we expected to pay for promo that TEG should have already been providing in exchange for a chunk of our royalties? And secondly, LOL, no, you cannot have access to our social media accounts. Fun fact, the BookBooster website now has a footer that says it's a TEG company. It did not have that initially. You'll also notice there isn't a single name on that website. The quote from the CEO is literally from CEO. Very transparent. Which brings us to Fictionwide, another TEG offshoot that positions itself as a self-publishing platform, basically a hybrid publisher. We don't know about all the testimonials on the site, but we know that at least one author there who is quoted is a TEG author and has not used Fictionwide's pay-to-play hybrid publishing method. Again, super transparent, right? So we wanted out for a bunch of reasons. After almost a month of negotiations, we signed an agreement. We can't be specific about the details, but we will say that we agreed to make a payment to TEG to secure our early release. We agreed to the payment despite there being nothing in our initial contract regarding it, because we wanted to be free and clear and not drag the process out any longer than necessary. More fool us, LOL. As part of the agreement, TEG agreed to refund that payment if they breached any of the conditions on the agreement. We got our rights back to our books, except the Portuguese translation of Awfully Ambrose, more on that below, on June 18th, 2024. Full disclosure, we initially asked for the rights to all our books back, including the rights to the Portuguese translation of Awfully Ambrose. TEG said we couldn't have those, and we agreed. Then when the early termination agreement wasn't in our inboxes when we were promised, we were told it was because TEG was still in negotiations with the Portuguese translator. This came as a surprise to us, since TEG had said we couldn't have the rights back, so what could there possibly be to negotiate? We were advised in an email that, after consideration, it is not in our interest to retain Portuguese rights, but we do want to ensure the translator is paid a fair rate for their work. Yep, they were getting a payout figure for the Portuguese translator on a book they'd told us we couldn't have back, and we'd already agreed they could keep. We asked if this meant they hadn't paid the translator. We didn't get an answer to this question. Funnily enough, once we mentioned we wouldn't be covering that cost for them, since that was a risk they took on as a publisher, the subject of the Portuguese translation was dropped. For a while, at least. But let's get back to the English versions for a moment, because that's where it gets really messy. On August 26th, we advised TEG by email that Amazon was still selling TEG paperbacks copies of our books. These were not third-party resellers. These books were print-on-demand books fulfilled and shipped by Amazon. TEG advised us that these books were no longer manufacturable by Amazon and there were no copies in stock. On September 20th, after we queried why the books were still showing for sale, we were again advised that the books were not printable/purchasable on Amazon. On September 25th, the required 30 days after notifying TEG of the issue, we ordered 3 paperbacks from Amazon and then sent TEG an invoice for the fee that we had paid them for our early release in accordance with the conditions of the termination agreement. TEG again advised that there was no stock and that the orders could not be fulfilled and would be canceled. They stated they were acting on the information Amazon provided them. Nevertheless, the orders were not canceled at that time, and in fact, 1 book was delivered. TEG declined to pay the invoice as they stated they were not in breach because it was a third-party seller issue. We disagree that it was a third-party seller issue, as the books were print on demand and we had been assured multiple times there were none in stock. Also, the seller was showing as Amazon, not a third-party distributor. TEG initially stated that they would show us all their correspondence with Amazon over this issue before walking back on that offer. They also refused to provide details of which Amazon rep they had been speaking to about this. About this time, we started asking other questions, like, why were there such discrepancies between our list prices and our unit prices on our royalty statements when, to our knowledge, none of the books had been on sale at that time? Or why the library price had been set so low? This was put down to the distributor, and when we pushed for an answer, we were told that TEG was investigating. That was in November 2024. Either it's been a very long investigation or they're ignoring us. You choose. Now remember that Portuguese translation of Awfully Ambrose. Our reversion of rights letters for our other titles state, Portuguese language rights will revert on 13th of June 2030. For the avoidance of doubt, these rights will remain with Totally Entwined until the end of the contracted term. Keep in mind that phrase, for the avoidance of doubt. That seems pretty unequivocal, right? On the 5th of November 2024, we received rights reversion letters unprompted from TEG regarding the Portuguese translation of Awfully Ambrose. At no point had we asked for these rights back since signing the early termination agreement and receiving those reversion of rights letters that stated TEG would retain the rights until 2030. You guys, remember the doubt? Turns out we didn't avoid it. Also, timing is a funny thing. We would never make any claims as to TEG's motivation, but we do find it interesting that this occurred just as we were questioning previous royalty statements. We believe this is another breach of contract by TEG, both of the termination agreement, which stipulated TEG would keep the rights until 2030, and the original contract, which states TEG will consult with the author/authors and also give at least 30 days notice to any amendments in the contract terms. We emailed TEG twice in the following days asking for a response to our claim that removing this book from publication without our agreement was a breach of contract. We did not receive a reply on either occasion, but Lisa was removed from the TEG authors Facebook group despite never having posted anything there about this dispute. When TEG finally did respond, they claimed there had been no breach and that TEG had the contractual right to make whatever decisions they liked in regards to publication. TEG claimed that the Portuguese translation was not subject to the early termination agreement, but only to the original contract. They cited a section of the original contract that said they had absolute discretion over publishing decisions and ignored a later section of the contract that stated the publisher would appropriately consult with the author in regards to those decisions. They also ignored the part of the contract that said they had to notify us at least 30 days prior to changing anything in the contract, like we're guessing the date of termination. Since we were not appropriately consulted, or even consulted at all, we consider this a breach. And that 30 days notice? How about 0 days instead? It is also worth noting that even though TEG has reverted our rights to the Portuguese translation of Awfully Ambrose, they haven't given us the files. Instead, they used those as leverage while Sarah attempted to negotiate with them about the release of a solo novella. Fun side note, we have an email from the CEO of TEG that was part of an email chain between the 3 of us that states, regarding contractually yours, Sarah's novella. Firstly, this is a separate matter entirely. Secondly, I cannot discuss another author's work with you, Lisa, due to confidentiality obligations. I'm sure you understand that we are unable to address such matters within its context, which is perfectly reasonable, except she then attempted to use those Portuguese files as leverage in her negotiations with Sarah. So she can't discuss another author's work with a co-author, which is fair, but she can use a co-written book as currency in a solo negotiation. Make it make sense. We've talked a little bit before about the audiobooks for the Bad Boyfriend series. We signed extension agreements for these, but most of the major stuff is covered in the original contracts. We listened to some samples, chose a narrator, and were told the audios had gone into production. Later, when we asked about release dates, we were told that TEG could no longer contact our chosen narrator. Then we were told the audio had been postponed. and that was the last we ever heard about it until we got our rights back. The audios are now out thanks to Tantor, something we signed a contract for after getting our rights back. Tantor has been great. The audio was just another thing we weren't advised of until we chased it up. And another example of appropriately consulted about any changes being absolutely meaningless, apparently. On June 4th, 2025, we notified TEG that all of our ebooks were still being sold via Tolina/Thalia. I might be wrong about exactly what that is, but they are like ways you can get the books. We purchased them to make sure we were able to do it. We were. This is despite the fact that we were told on June 18th, 2024, a full year ago, that the distributor had been advised to take the books down. Back in June 2024, we'd asked for a complete list of all the vendors who had our books. Thalia/Tolina was not on the list of IPG's vendors we were given. So we figured, okay, Thalia/Tolina was never advised, which was a breach of the termination agreement. Time to remind TEG about that invoice. On June 25th, 2025, TEG informed us that this was the fault of the European distributor. So is this a different distributor from IPG, a different list? We don't know because TEG hasn't answered that question. But TEG did tell us back in June of 2024 that our books would not be transferred over to the new distributor because we'd already gotten our rights back. So did they go to the new distributor after all? We have no fucking idea. Fun fact, when we asked for a list of all the vendors where our books might still be on sale, we were told we couldn't expect TEG to tell us proprietary information about our distribution system, which is a hilarious stance for a publisher to take. We make money selling books, but we're not going to tell anyone where they might be able to buy them because it's a secret. And interestingly, if Thalia/Tolina has made any sales of those 5 ebooks, the 3 novels in English, the English box set, and Awfully Ambrose in Portuguese, in these past 12 months, and they have, remember, because we bought them, then where are the royalties? In July 2025, we asked for proof that TEG had sent notices to have the books taken down. We received a screenshot in reply. The screenshot did not show a date, as in it showed the books were currently down, not when the request was made. Could have been 12 months ago? Like they said, could have been 12 minutes ago. We asked for a screenshot of other correspondence showing when the request was made. We have not received a reply despite our attempts to follow this up. In fact, it was radio silence from TEG on all the following requests we made. We are asking for a screenshot that confirms the date you made the request to the distributor. We are asking you to prove that you have maintained complete and accurate records in accordance with Section 6.7 of our contract. We are requesting information as to the distributor and vendors that our books were sold under. Please show us where you gave us 30 days prior written notice that you were going to change the terms of the contract and the termination agreement by reverting our rights to the Portuguese translation of Awfully Ambrose. Please show us where you appropriately consulted with us in regards to reverting our rights for the Portuguese translation of Awfully Ambrose. In fact, please show us where you consulted with us at all. This was in August 2025, by the way. Let's skip forward to December 2025, and remember earlier when we asked where the royalties were for those sales by Thalia/Tolina. Those sales that we know for sure were made because we bought the books. TEG got back to us, and they have no record of these sales, and therefore they can send us no money, and unless new information is provided, we consider the matter closed. We can only assume that new information involves us planning an Ocean's 11 style heist on whichever building houses the computer mainframes for Thalia and plugging directly into them, because apparently sending the invoice showing the exact titles we bought, the exact date we bought them, and the exact amount we paid wasn't enough. Meanwhile, how fucking nice it must be to consider matter closed when they're too hard to deal with. What a stress-free way to live your life. So what did we do? We resent the same information we'd sent them 6 months ago. To our surprise, the CEO is now investigating. Call us cynical, but we don't really trust the investigative skills of someone who thinks being provided information a second time is the same as being provided new information. On December 30th, we sent the CEO an email stating, given that you failed to reply as requested to our email on December 3rd and again on December 9th, asking what steps you were intending to take to rectify this matter and how long you anticipated the investigation would take, we consider this an admission that the breach is not capable of remedy. Please find the link to the invoice for the repayment of our termination amount here, and there was a link. In addition, as the Portuguese edition of Awfully Ambrose is not subject to the termination agreement, given that you reverted our rights without consultation or agreement, please advise us on how you intend to compensate us for sales made in contravention of our rights. I mean, you know how this is going to go, right? But we didn't find out until January just how long the CEO was going to ignore us for because she was out of the office, presumably investigating in person at the Thalia/Tolino offices, right? Right? You guys, right? We welcomed the new year with an email from the CEO sent January 2nd. You will be shocked to learn that she didn't mention the link to the invoice at all. Instead, though, and this part was genuinely shocking, she cut and pasted part of an email from the mysterious distributor to prove, I guess, that she actually was looking into it. Which was great and all, except it's still a breach, and it still hadn't been remedied. And our termination agreement says we have to give them a reasonable period, not less than 30 days, to remedy the breach. It was already 30 days, you guys. If we count from when we first told them Thalia was still selling our books, it was 30 days and 6 whole months. So we sent back another email and another link to the invoice and gave them until January 7th to pay it. But we were pretty sure we were about to learn that our idea of reasonable and the CEO's idea of reasonable were very different animals. So where are we now in all this? Back on July 19th, 2025, the CEO of TEG advised us that your email refers to Clause 9.8 of the original publishing agreement. This clause applied during the active term of the agreement. Your titles were reverted to you last year, and all contractual obligations on our part concluded at that time. So basically, every question we've raised about royalties, about library pricing, about anything, they don't have to answer. If that's the case, and the CEO is adamant it is, then it looks like our contractual agreements are also concluded. So here are some clauses of our original contracts that are no longer subject to confidentiality. Section 9.8. The publisher shall cooperate fully with the author in any audit and assist in providing information as the author may request to establish whether there are any errors or omissions, or to fully audit the accounts. Section 5.9. The publisher reserves the right to make amendments to this agreement upon prior written notice to the author of no less than 30 days. Section 5.11. Unless stated otherwise, where in this agreement the publisher reserves the right to amend or alter the work or to make any decision in connection with the publication of the work, the publisher will appropriately consult with the author and shall take into account, but not be bound by, any view held by the author. The CEO of TEG maintains that they have acted in good faith and met their obligations. To sum up, 1. They have failed to provide us with a complete list of vendors where our books were for sale. We're not sure how that meets the obligations of Section 9.8, but here we are. 2. They didn't notify us 30 days before reverting the rights to our Portuguese translation. Not a breach of Section 5.9, according to them. 3. When we signed the termination agreement for all our books, the Portuguese translation was explicitly excluded from that agreement, with rights to return to us in 2030. We received no further correspondence regarding it at all until we were sent a rights reversion notice. We're not sure what the appropriate consultation in Section 5.11 would be, but it's probably not. Fuck all, actually. So TEG claims that they haven't breached our contract ever, not for not notifying us that they were returning our rights for the Portuguese Awfully Ambrose, not for continuing to sell our books a year after we got our rights back, and not even for not paying us for those books they continued to sell. And the fun part about that is that they know it would be incredibly difficult and costly for two authors on the other side of the world to take legal action against them. So I guess all we can do is tell you what happened, and trust us, this is only the highlight reel, not the whole saga. And hope that by sharing a small part of our experience, we might save other authors from going through the same thing. Final fun fact. Because we didn't sign a termination agreement for the Portuguese rights for Awfully Ambrose, there is no non-disparagement clause in play for that title. So for the avoidance of doubt, when it comes to our English titles, we make no claims as to TEG's motivation and no comment on the professionalism or lack thereof. When it comes to the Portuguese version of Awfully Ambrose, however, TEG can go fuck itself, and we'd like to tell every author in the world to avoid the hell out of signing a contract with them unless you would also like to be screwed over for years to come. So yeah, that was a lot to cover, but I thought it was important to share that story from the beginning to end with you all, and of course, with the permission of the authors. At the time that I'm filming this, I don't know if they have received any sort of notice from TEG or any payment, but I will put that up here on the screen somewhere if I do have an answer at the time this goes up. As of this filming, TEG is still claiming they haven't done anything wrong, and Claire refuses to see the reasons why her business is failing. But, you know, you can lead a horse to water and all that. So instead of one specific indie author to focus on today, I'm going to talk about some of the TEG authors who are going through it. And by the way, like, doing it with humor, taking it in stride. All of their links will be in the description. So first I want to tell you about Ellen Mint. She writes contemporary paranormal and reverse harem romances, along with anything else she feels inspired by. K.E. Turner writes spicy paranormal romances and romantic suspense, and she loves combining history, mystery, suspense, paranormal, and romance in her books. Lisa Henry and Sarah Honey are co-authors on some TEG books, but both have written plenty of books solo as well. They write romances in a variety of subgenres, and again, those are the two that dealt with everything I just talked about. So I hope you'll check out some of these authors if you're a romance reader, because Entwined has certainly done nothing to help promote their books. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love it if you would, and check out my Bindery if you'd like to support me over there. The Bindery community is an amazing group of people, and I hope you'll join us. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!